So this is a full athlete for life dynamic warm-up. Pretty much what I do, what the programming that I put out does. We're gonna touch every base of it, right? So our release, we're gonna do our resets, we're gonna do our readiness, and take you through the whole thing. So you kind of even see how long it takes and what things to do to be as prepared as possible, lift heavy, move fast, sprint fast, jump. So check this out. So we're gonna start with soft tissue work, foam rolling, lacrosse ball, whatever else it may be. Now, people always ask how long this should be, and you don't wanna make it too long. I tend to be like more in the, hey, keep it about 5 minutes or under. If something's like really wound up, maybe you spend a little more time on it. But work on the things like, for example, this would be a full body dynamic warm up. What are the things I'm gonna work on? IT band TFL, well really the TFL glute med here at the top. Right, I'm just gonna spin, like pin and stretch it, right? Find that position, pin and stretch it, tune it down a little bit. And spend like 30 to 45 seconds on spots, right? You don't necessarily wanna spend minutes on things, okay? Again, we have restrictions on how much time we have to train. So getting the most important things, same thing. I'm gonna go quad right here. I like to do bend that knee. So almost find tender spots and move around. So I'd work on that 30 to 45 seconds. Then on this outside, because I really, again, it's like stuff that you feel that's wound up, work on that. If tissue feels fine, just move past it, right? I just know my spots here. I'll usually go cross this over, get that glute med as well. And notice I'm just working one side, right now, on all the different aspects of it. I might get hamstrings a little bit, but usually I don't really feel that. But I'm gonna move into the lats because lats are gonna be a big one for me. And maybe some of that tricep, but I'm staying on one side, right? Because then I'm just gonna do up and down the whole other side. And again, here it's like, what tools do you wanna use? If you got like a lacrosse ball that can just dig in deeper into certain positions, whew, right? And from there, I'd move to the other side, right? So the things that I know that I need to hit is basically quads, TFL, glutes, right? That top of the hammy attachment. And then I'm gonna move forward from that, right? From there, my reset really is gonna be a couple of things, right? I tend to do a couple of breathing drills, crocodile breathing. So think putting the pad on my stomach, because what's gonna happen here is as I breathe in, it's gonna push that air into my low back. And so if my low back is tight, I just did a lower body workout 2 days ago, got some soreness. So I'm just gonna lay down here. I'm gonna breathe out through my mouth. Breathe in through my nose. And you'll see how the air comes up into my lower back. So I might do 6 to 8 reps like that. Again, every rep I'm gonna get more air here in my low back. And the key here is, if you're tight somewhere, I wanna get air into those places, right? Because if I can't get air into a place, I can't move into that place. So second positional breathing is gonna be like our couch stretch. So I'm just gonna add breathing to this part. So if you had, again, chair, couch, anything like that, right, I'm gonna lean back, get this big stretch here, push my hands down so my ribs come down. And again, instead of going for time, I'm just gonna do breaths, right? I'm gonna exhale fully. Then get air as deep into here as I can. Five, 6 breaths, one side, 5, 6 breaths the other side, right? Because that's just gonna put me, again, it's gonna align some of the joints, get me in better positions, and it doesn't take a lot of time. Now, I've been talking through this with you guys, and this will probably be taking, again, 5 minutes or so at most. If you have more time and you want to spend more time, cool. But I like to have the warm-up be somewhere between 10, 12, max 15 minutes at most, right? But feeling great. So from there, I'm gonna do a couple of things, right? Both for shoulders, upper back, as well as this Steve Maxwell drill that I just really like. I tend to start with this stuff. So with the Steve Maxwell drill, I'm gonna turn to the side, drop down, kind of draw a circle, and then kind of roll back out of there. So I'm getting some of that. And this is chill, meaning I'm doing this, I'm dropping down. I'm also getting some spinal movement here. And I might go other side. Yeah, I tend to just feel a lot better. Again, I've taken drills over the last 20 plus years. I've learned from certain people that just make me feel a ton better. So I'll do that for about 5 reps per side. From there, we're gonna go scapular cars, right? So I'm gonna go into this 45-degree angle-ish, and ribs are gonna be down. I'm gonna reach out and just work the scap. So elevate, retract, depress. I really get it moving, because remember, if you can't move the scaps well, the shoulder's not gonna function well. So I'd go both directions. I'm speeding this up a little bit. And then I'd go into locking, I'm just trying to say, locking my hips in. I'm gonna rotate and reach. So I'm trying to make sure that, again, my low back does not rotate, my hips don't rotate. Everything's coming from that upper back. And I exhale as I do that, right? So I'll go 5 and 5. And then from the side, if you watch, I'm gonna do an exhale, reach down, open up my upper back. So you're gonna feel a stretch in your mid-backish right there, and retract. This feels great. Same thing, we go 5 and 5 on that. From there, 2 different things. I mean, like the bretzel is another one of those like bang for the buck things that you've seen me doing a lot of warm-ups. Doesn't take a lot of time. What I've started doing differently though, is that I'll just rep it. And what I mean by this is, right, so I'm gonna go into this position. I'm gonna grab my back foot. I'm gonna get my stretch, but I'm not gonna create a ton of tension. All I'm gonna do is inhale, exhale, and rotate, and then come back. Right, so get about 5 reps. And then once in the 5th rep, if I'm tight, I'm just gonna breathe here for a second. Try to get a little more range. I actually heard it pop, nice little adjustment. And I do the same thing on the other side. Right, and notice, like, what are we doing? We're doing things that are opening up the hips, getting rotation in our thoracic spine, right? So another drill here that I love against the wall because it's giving us some constraints. And I'll use this half roller just to keep myself honest, right? From here, I'm going to bring this hip closer to the wall, right? So I'm not cheating it. I'm pushing this hand into the wall. I'm gonna drive my knee into the pad. Exhale. And really try to get the middle of my chest opening, right? So I'm not cranking my shoulder. So staying honest by pushing this into the wall. Just trying to get more range. There we go. And I would just go and do that for 5 reps per side. That last rep, notice I usually will hold it and just try to breathe in that position, right? So exhale, try to get a little bit more range and switch into both sides on that one. And then from there, we're gonna start moving a little bit into like our hip series. So from there, like we're gonna go 90-90 position. We're gonna do a couple of things from here that I love doing. Number one is just doing a kin stretch, opening up our hips. So thinking about keeping that belly button in line with our knee. And the quality of these reps matters a lot because one, I wanna make sure that I'm not rounding my low back and I'm getting that arch so that when I do drive my hips back, treat it like an RDL, I'm really getting that stretch in my hip, right? And as I pull, I even like pull myself down here. Once I'm down here, I'm gonna push the ground away for 5 seconds and then push myself all the way back up, right? We're gonna do 5 reps. So again, arch, bow and arrow, drive the hips back, push the knee forward, get more range, push into the ground for 5 seconds, come back up. Right? We do that for 5 reps. Okay, trying to get lower each time with quality form. Again, creating some tension in that position, coming back up. And then we're gonna go back and get some internal rotation. So I'm gonna try to stay upright, but if not, I'm gonna lean a little bit, try to get the belly button to this back knee. So turn it back here, I'm gonna feel a big stretch here, push my knee into the ground, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come back forward, and again, right? And I'm just trying to inch myself, trying to get a little bit more range of motion here. And then from there, I'm just gonna switch sides, right? So we're gonna go one side, switch to the other side. Again, obviously I'd be moving at a pretty good pace here. Since we're talking, it's taking a little bit longer, but you kind of get the drill of it. Like the tempos are about what I'm showing you. From there, we're gonna go to Spider-Man sequence, which this obviously, like, you know, you could call it the greatest stretch in the world. And I like to combine a couple of things here. So we're gonna step up into the Spider-Man lunge. The first part, I'm gonna keep my knee locked out. I'm gonna drop down. Okay, so I'm dropping my elbow to instep, keep my chest tall, get a big glute stretch. From there, I'm gonna reach out and look at my hand all the way around. Okay, hand goes down, and now I'm gonna also get a hamstring stretch. Come back down and then switch. All right, again, we're going a little bit slower through this to kind of explain it. So chest is tall, I'm driving down, coming back up, reach, all the way around, come back, hip comes all the way up, holding and switching. And so we just move through this sequence, trying to get a little bit more range of motion. And we're gonna, again, this is like a 5 per side type of drill. And from there, we're gonna move forward. So from here, we're gonna go squat to stand with a walkout. So again, we knock out a couple things. I like the flows. Notice we started with stuff a little bit more single joint and we kind of progressed it into more movement. So I'm gonna pull myself down. Couple of things, like, so I'm gonna drive myself down. Once I'm here, I'm gonna push my knees into my elbows for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, activate those adductors and then relax. And now you can see I kind of get a more of a lower drop. Walk myself out, go into the downward dog position. And here, add some thoracic rotation and pull myself through. Other side. And coming back. Right, same thing. I'm gonna lock in, come back up. Once I'm up in this position, I like to kind of get into the edges, open things up, repeat, pull myself down, push in for 3, 2, 1, relax, get deeper. And you notice basically we're going somewhere between 5 to 8 reps for all these drills. And if I wasn't walking you through this, I'd just be moving along, right? Smoothly, nonstop. From there, I'm gonna go side lunge position, 2 different things. So side lunge, load that. And you can support yourself here too, but first I'm gonna feel that adductor. I'm gonna turn it out, go into Cossack, come back up and then just glide across, right? So almost like a mobility drill here. Stretch, open up, drop. And you can always support yourself. Obviously, for everybody, it's gonna look a little bit different. You can even do it against a rig to get more support, right? It's not gonna be holding on to something here. So if that's challenging, right, I'd have some support. Same thing, I'd work basically 5 reps per side, 6 reps per side. And then before we go into the running stuff, which is like really ramping up that nervous system, I would very likely do some activation of the glutes, which would be I like this 3-part sequence where we're gonna go fire hydrants for about 20 seconds. From there, extensions for 20 seconds. And then locked out leg glute med for 20 seconds, and then switching sides. And then from there, we're gonna move into our moving stuff, which is our running drills, our little pogo jumps, really get the nervous system going, get the kind of core temperature up even more, and then we're rocking and rolling. So this is gonna be our running drill sequence. Again, you can pick and choose how many different ones you do. The ones I'm gonna show you is kind of like my usual, my regular. Doing multiplanar too, like multi-directional stuff, as you'll see. And we're just gonna ramp it up. So think from slower to faster. If I'm starting off with this, I'm pretty much gonna start with the lower high knees and kind of ramp it up to a faster frequency. Same thing with every other drill that you'll just see me go through on this one. So as you can see, even just demoing this, my core temper is high, my heart rate's high. And again, those drills are going back to back. We're focusing on the quality of those running drills and increasing the intensity, right? So we start slower, we progress. Same thing with the jumps, lower to higher. Sprints, usually I'll finish off with 3 sprints, pogo jumps that maybe you didn't see there. I'll be at 50%, 70%, and then 85, 90% of the last sprint. And then we'd go into the training session, right? So again, comprehensively, that would probably take me about 12 to 14 minutes if I was going through it like nonstop, back the way that I would usually. But I want you to try it out, see how it feels, go through everything deliberately, but at the same time, keep a timer so you know where you're at, because part of the warm-ups is being able to individualize it to yourself for your training session, how much time you have. So if you got to get it done in 10 minutes, maybe you'll take some things out. You know, maybe you'll do more of one exercise before flowing to the next one. But make sure you try it out. Warm-ups are extremely important. Have the best possible training session, and it gives us an ability to work on things that we need, whether it's mobility, whether it's hip activation. So try this workout out. And again, to get more tips like this, to feel, look, perform like an athlete without the nagging aches and pains, make sure to follow this channel.